Okay.
I'm thinking a repeat.
You know, it's never ever happened till this year. Good morning. Welcome to United States Sports Academy and our weekly sports talk program. Today is the last day of the National Basketball Association regular season. And the NBA did a cool thing a couple years ago where everybody plays today. That way nobody has a rest advantage going into at least the first round of the playoffs. Of course, if you sweep and your opponent goes the distance, you'll have an advantage in the second round, but at least everybody's starting on even footing. With me today is Dr. Brett Simmermacher, our Chair of Sports Coaching, Mr. Ben Billman, one of our graduate teaching assistants, and I'm Steve Butler. I'll be your host today, and behind the camera, Sarah Weber, another one of our great teaching assistants, will act as our producer. Today we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. As we said, the last game of the regular season is tonight, and the playoffs begin this coming Saturday. And one of the things I find interesting is that, the talk about MVP for the last several months has been James Harden or Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. And the votes are due today. I think at either noon or 4 o'clock. The votes are due today. But Oklahoma City and Houston are playing in the first round of the playoffs. So if they let them wait a couple weeks, it could kind of settle who was the real MVP of the NBA. So Brett, who do you think's who would you vote for if you had a vote? Let's do it that way.
For me, it's no question Russell Westbrook. I think he's had a phenomenal season. He's stepped up since the Durant trade and taken that team and put them on his back, and they made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Harden's got a better supporting cast, I believe, than Westbrook has, and I just think that that's who I would vote for. I mean, you average a triple-double, but here again, we talked about that. Yeah. When Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double, he finished third. So
there's not a lot of Wilt Chamberlains and Bill Russells.
That's true.
Around this year.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Westbrook. I mean, 42 at this point, 42 triple-doubles. Yeah. Averaging a triple-double, he will finish the season with a triple-double. I know Harden has had more success as a team, but like you said, he has a lot more talent, better shooters. Westbrook, though, people question how good he really was with Durant, and he's proven it this year when he's been by himself.
Well, and in coaching, and when you look at these types of things, an MVP is a guy that makes everybody else around him better. Mm-hmm. I think LeBron does that with the teams that he's played in. Michael Jordan did it. Westbrook's doing the same type of thing.
Yeah.
With lesser talent.
Yeah.
Westbrook right now is kind of like Michael was before he got help.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He puts the team on his back and wills them to win. I would vote for Westbrook too. You made a great point about Oscar Robertson in '62 not winning the award, but like I said, there's not a Wilt Chamberlain or a Bill Russell to
Right.
Wilt averaged over 50 points a game that year and did not win the MVP. One thing I didn't realize that Oscar Robertson actually had a 5-year stretch where he averaged a triple-double. He only averaged it for a complete season once. But he was so far over on that one season that if you took those 5 years, I think it was 62 to 66, he averaged a triple-double for an entire 5 years, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I think ESPN thinks sports started in September of '79.
Yeah.
But I think when people talk about the greatest basketball players of all time, I think Oscar gets overlooked a lot, and he's got to be in the conversation. Mm-hmm. Ben will agree with me because he's from Indiana.
Yeah, Crispus Attucks High School, and they actually won a state title this year in basketball.
Did they?
So congratulations.
Yeah, when Oscar was there, I don't know. Do they still do it in Indiana where everybody plays everybody?
They used to. They switched in '97 or '98, so they have class basketball now. But
if they would have had class all the time, we wouldn't have had Hoosiers. We wouldn't have had the move.
I know exactly. They need to go back. Single class basketball.
So playoffs start this week. In the Western Conference, we'll start there because it's pretty well set. Golden State, the 1 seed, will play Portland, the 8 seed. San Antonio, the 2, will play Memphis, the 7. Houston, the 3, will play Oklahoma City, the 4. And the Clippers and the Jazz will play each other. But if Utah wins and LA loses tonight, Utah gets the 4. If either Utah loses or the Clippers win, the Clippers get the 4. So we know Utah and the Clippers will play. We just don't know if Game 1 and the home court advantage will be in either Utah or Los Angeles. So Ben can tell us all about that home court advantage stuff. So who do you guys like in the first round matchups in the West?
I'll go. I like Golden State, obviously, over Portland. But I saw Portland play over in New Orleans, and they're not bad. So it's not going to be just a hammy series, I don't think. When you get to this point, all these teams are anything can happen. San Antonio, I think, is going to beat the Spurs, and I think the Thunder is going to beat the Rockets. I think Westbrook is going to try to prove who should be the MVP. And I think the Clippers are going to win the other series regardless of home field advantage or home court advantage.
Ben?
I like the first round, the Warriors Blazers, because Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum against Curry and Thompson. I think those will be great matchups, but I think the Warriors overall are too strong. So I have the Warriors. I agree on the Spurs. I think the Rockets have a lot of good shooters. So I'm going to go with them. And then I like the Jazz, actually. I think they've been playing. They're they kind of crept into the playoffs and have been really good. And Gordon Hayward's a great player for them. And again, I'm probably biased because he's from Indianapolis and played at Butler. But I think the Jazz are going to sneak by the Clippers. But I think home court could play a big part in that Clippers-Jazz series.
I agree with both of you on a couple. I have Golden State and San Antonio, but I like your upset, Utah over LA. Although I don't really either way. I don't think 4 or 5 is a big upset.
Yeah.
And I like Brett's upset of Oklahoma City over Houston. So I got Golden State playing Utah and the Spurs playing Oklahoma City in the second round. Okay, the Eastern Conference is a little more convoluted at this point. Boston and Cleveland will be either 1 or 2. Boston holds the lead right now. If Boston loses and Cleveland wins, then Cleveland will be the number 2. But I don't think Cleveland's going to play their stars tonight because they don't care about being 1 or 2. And I saw a stat this morning.
Yeah, we talked.
LeBron James has been on the number 2 seed 5 times. And all 5 times they went to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So
they're going to play for a 2 seed.
Yeah, they might as well. Yeah.
And then it's really convoluted at 6, 7, 8 because I'm sorry, 7 and 8. Milwaukee's locked in as a 6 after Monday's games, but Indiana, Chicago, and Miami. Any one of them could be 7. Any one of them could be 8, and any one of them could be out. Miami has to hope they both lose. Indiana has to hope Chicago or Miami loses. Interestingly enough, even though Indiana's 7 right now, both Chicago and Miami hold the tiebreaker over Indiana, and both Chicago and Miami will be the 2 teams picked if it's a 3-way tie. So Indiana, even though they're 7 right now, is kind of in the most precarious position.
Well, and I just saw this morning the Bulls play the Nets tonight. And the Nets are sitting their top 6 players for tonight's game.
Yeah.
So the Bulls basically you can put them at 41 and 41 because they're not losing to a Nets team that's already pitiful. But now you take away their top 6 players. I mean, the Bulls should win by 40 tonight. So.
If the Bulls win, then it'll come down to either Indiana or Miami being out. And it'll be interesting to see. Miami's playing Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, is it Miami playing Cleveland?
No, they played them last
the other
night.
Yeah,
night.
that's right. I can't remember who Miami's playing, but they're playing a team that's locked into their seeding slot. I think they're playing the Wizards. I think Miami's playing the Wizards, and Washington's locked into 4, and they'll probably rest. Whatchamacallit didn't even play Monday night.
I'm going to look it up for you.
John Wall. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're playing Washington, but they're locked in. So we'll see.
Cleveland plays the Raptors.
Okay.
Okay.
The Bucks play the Celtics. Wizards play the Heat.
Yeah, Miami's playing Washington.
Nets play the Bulls. Hawks play the Pacers.
Okay.
Overall in the Eastern Conference, I think even though could be some movement, at the top and the bottom. I think the top 4 teams, in whatever order they're in, the Celtics, Cavs, Raptors, and Wizards,
are moving on.
Have kind of positioned themselves above, 4 or 5 through 15 in the East. So no matter what order they're in, no matter who gets the 7th and 8th seed, I think the top 4 are going to be my choices, whoever the matchups are, to win in the first round.
I picked Boston, Washington, Cleveland, and Toronto in the first round too.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen all 4 of those top 4 seeds play on a pretty consistent basis the entire season, and I like all 4 of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think Toronto helped themselves the most of that group by getting Serge Ibaka at the trade deadline. I think that was the most significant move at the trade deadline. Gives them a size presence to go with the 2 really good guards they have. Okay, so we all agree on the first round in the East. Who do you guys like coming out in the second round, making it to the conference finals?
I like Boston and Cleveland. I think it's going to come down to that series. They both, I know Cleveland struggled here lately. They blew a 26-point lead the other night. But
I saw the teams were, after that game, teams that trailed by 25 points or more entering the fourth quarter were 2 and 2,600 and something.
Yeah,
wow.
I saw
It was
that
a
too.
big number.
Yeah, but I just think it's playoff time, and guys like LeBron James and his supporting cast have proven that they know when to step it up, and I think Boston has gotten to that point as well, and I think it's going to come down to Boston and Cleveland.
I agree. It's going to be Boston, Cleveland. They've been the best 2 teams in the East all year, and the crazy thing looking forward, no matter what happens, is the Celtics hold the Nets' #1 pick in this draft. So right now the Nets are projected to be the #1 overall pick. So that pick would go to the Celtics. So it'll be interesting to see.
It's not even protected?
It's not protected.
Wow.
So even if so it's either going to be the first pick or the 4th, I believe, based on how the ping pong balls fall. But the Celtics are going to have a top 4 pick guaranteed this upcoming year. So
We talked about this earlier, but the whole gang was there on NBA Tonight on ESPN. Jalen Rose and Chauncey Billups and Sage Steele and one of the other guys, I can't remember his name, but they were all in complete agreement that Brad Stevens is the 2nd best coach in the NBA right now, behind Pop.
I would agree with that.
And he's what?
It was questions.
Oh, you have a question? Go.
You could keep going. This is a question for Ben.
Uh-oh.
Do you think LeBron will be able to lead the Cavs to another NBA title this year?
Yes, that's the easiest answer. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know they've struggled this year, but I think the East is. I'll go ahead and say the Cavs are going to beat Boston to make the finals. I don't think they'll win it all, but absolutely, if LeBron has another performance like he had last year, they absolutely could. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and jump ahead. I've actually got Toronto upsetting Cleveland in the second round, and then beating Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals and going to the championship series. How about you?
I'm with Ben. I think that Cleveland's going to get there. Don't know if they're going to have the firepower to win it all with whoever comes out of the West, but
if Toronto beats
they'll
Cleveland,
show up.
If Toronto beats Cleveland tonight, they have exactly the same record.
Yeah.
But Cleveland holds the tiebreaker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got Cleveland and Golden State in my final for the 3rd year in a row. I think that's going to be the finals.
I think that's the dream final if you're an advertiser
Yeah.
or an ESPN person.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, you think back with the Lakers and the Celtics in the 60s and the Lakers and Celtics in the 80s.
Yeah.
The same teams have never played 3 years in a row. Which
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, because it seemed like when I was a kid growing up, it was always Jerry West and the Lakers against Bill Russell and the Celtics.
But then you had the Pistons sneak in there. With the Lakers.
You always had somebody sneak in. I've got Toronto losing to Golden State I got Golden State beating San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals, and then Golden State beating Toronto in the championship series.
And it wouldn't surprise me if San Antonio beat Golden State.
No,
I mean, Kawhi Leonard is the real deal.
Then I think I picked Toronto, and it would be a monumental upset if they beat Cleveland. But I think Golden State, San Antonio, and Cleveland are the class of the NBA this year, and it'll be interesting to see which two of those, Golden State or San Antonio, make it to the finals. But I wouldn't be surprised if Boston won. I heard somebody was talking on the radio yesterday, and said that the biggest problem Boston has if they make it to the playoffs is their leading scorer is 5'2". I know that was an exaggeration, but Isaiah Thomas is little, and Cleveland's got what Cleveland can do is just put LeBron on him. Yeah. And he can't score if LeBron's covering him. Yeah. But the thing Golden State has is who are you going to put LeBron on? Durant, Thompson, or Steph. Yeah. And if you've got nobody to cover, you got nobody to cover.
Who do you want to beat you?
Yeah. Another question.
Got a question. All right.
If there is another Cavs versus Warriors finals, what player do you think will be the X factor for either team?
I'll go ahead. I think Tristan Thompson for the Cavs, because he's got a rebound, he's got a score around the rim. He did it last year, and that's a big reason why they won. And for the Warriors, it's Draymond Green. He's got to keep his cool. He knows people are going to be coming for him psychologically. Last year he got suspended. I believe it was for Game 6.
It was Game 5.
And so if he's playing well and keeps his head, I think the Warriors are going to win. That's my prediction, because he'll keep his head and play well. So I've got Draymond Green as the X factor, and then Tristan Thompson for the Cavs as the X factor.
I like Klay Thompson as the X factor because
people are going to concentrate on Curry
and Durant.
And
when Klay Thompson gets hot, it's even more impressive than when Curry is hot.
That's true.
When Klay Thompson gets hot, man, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And plus he's a lot bigger than Steph. Mm-hmm. And he can for Cleveland. You can't say Kyrie because he's established himself this season as a superstar. Tristan Thompson's a good choice. One of them other guys, Kevin Love. Mm-hmm. He's kind of been injured the last part of the season. Not injured enough to miss games, but kind of like Steph was last year for the finals. Mm-hmm. He wasn't 100%. So it'd be interesting to see how Kevin Love plays. But I think we'd all kind of like to see Golden State, Cleveland 3, just see what happens. And if it comes to that, anything can happen. Mm-hmm. LeBron's proven this will be his 6th straight finals with 2 different teams. Sandy just wrote an article about for the Digest about LeBron and how no matter what he does on the court, how he'll always be a hero in Cleveland for all the things he's doing for the kids, right? In Akron and Cleveland. So we hope everybody enjoys the basketball playoffs. We'll come back in 3 weeks and tell you how brilliant our predictions were. We'd like to congratulate Sergio Garcia on winning the Masters. One of the really cool stories, if you're Sergio's age or a little bit older, and you're a golfer from Spain, Seve Ballesteros was your hero. Yeah. And Sunday, when Sergio won the Masters, would have been Seve's 60th birthday, which is a pretty cool story. Yeah. And Sergio was pretty emotional about that in the interviews afterwards. I was happy to see, Sergio had that unofficial tag as the greatest player never to win a major, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. And sometimes he's 38. Sometimes when a guy wins that first one, he goes off and wins two or three more. So I thought it was a great tournament. It was interesting to see Jordan Spieth hit in the water on 12 again on Sunday. And I was
surprised with his play then. And all of a sudden, I figured he would be right there.
Well, he was done before he got to the 12th tee on Sunday.
And Ricky Fowler too. I thought Ricky might make a run.
I thought one of those two.
Yeah.
And those two are good friends. They were playing together, so it was a good matchup for both of them, and it just never happened.
Sunday. Yeah.
And the conditions were perfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, they showed that there was no wind.
Yeah.
Well, people don't understand how pressure can affect people, but pressure is is a huge thing in sport, especially.
Yeah.
Baseball season's in full swing now. George Springer last night broke the record by 13 games. He hit his fourth leadoff home run in only Game 7 of the season. It's never happened before 20 games before. Brady Anderson was the last one to do it. Brady Anderson, had that one year when he
50-something.
He went from 17 career high to 51, and then went back down to 16 the next year. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't doing anything illegal.
Nah.
That's the. Sarah's got a this day in sports thing for us that has to do with the NBA.
Yeah, but we also have local area baseball this
That's
week.
right. We got baseball.
Big game at Stanky Field.
Well, tonight
Series.
the Bay Bears
Tonight's the
open.
Bay Bears
Yeah.
home opener.
Home opener.
Our first experience with Bay Bears being a Angels affiliate.
And they're playing Jackson.
It has $1 hot dog night, so don't eat dinner before you go to the ball game.
You aren't going to eat a hot dog, are you?
I'm gonna eat a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
They have a 5-game homestand.
Yeah, they do.
Versus
They do
Jackson.
5 game. They do 5-game series in the minor leagues to save on travel costs. And so we got
Bay Bears.
Bay Bears tonight. I'll be there at 6:35 first pitch, and then tomorrow we've got the defending national champion Coastal Carolina. Chanticleers or whatever they are, coming to South Alabama to play a 3-game series against South Alabama. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week.
6:30 on Thursday, 6:30 on Friday, 1 p.m. on Saturday. Kids can run the bases after the game on Saturday. And then if you want, you can go to the Bay Bears game Saturday night.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
about the adults that want to run the base?
That's only on Sunday.
They let the adults go out and take pictures. And Coastal Carolina lost last night to Wake Forest, 19-9, and South Alabama beat New Orleans 9-6. They
Yeah,
got
they hit a grand slam in the.
5 runs in the top of the ninth.
Yep.
Yeah.
The catcher hit a grand slam in the 9th.
West Florida lost to Spring Hill 11-5. They have a really important conference matchup this weekend too. They host Delta State.
Nice.
So they saved everything for this weekend.
Yeah, lots of good stuff happening. Yeah.
And
It's a
then
great
Lots of
time.
good ball. Right?
Great
Yeah.
time to be a sports fan. There's no NASCAR race this week because they don't race on Easter Sunday or Mother's Day. Those are the 2 Sundays they take off. So we can wait till next week for Jimmy Johnson to win another race. Jimmy Johnson had a great answer. He won last week in Texas because he always wins in Texas. But the week before that, it was Thursday or Friday, one of the reporters was kind of being a smart aleck. He said, just the way he said it was asking Jimmy Johnson if he was concerned about his slow start to the season. And Jimmy Johnson just matter of factly said, 16 years, 80 wins, 7 championships. Next question. So move on. Well, we hope everybody has a great week in sports.
this day in sports history.
Oh, that's right. Lowest scoring game ever since the shot clock, right?
In the NBA, second lowest scoring NBA game. Detroit 72, New York Knicks 61, and that was in 1992.
Wow.
Wow.
Real scoring.
Fans should ask for their money back.
Yeah.
We hope everybody has a great week in sports. A big week for baseball here in Mobile. Congratulations again to our founding president, Dr. Razandich, who was inducted into the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame last Thursday night, the 6th. And Brett was there, so it was a great ceremony. Former Major League Baseball player Dave Stapleton,
Yes.
former Alabama basketball star Coffee, right? Caffey. Yeah. And 3.
Auburn wide receiver.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
Anyway, the important one to us was Dr. Razandich, and
Yeah.
we're proud to say that we all worked for him until his retirement. Great week in sports. Enjoy baseball. Enjoy basketball playoffs, and we'll see you next Wednesday morning at 11:30 a.m. Central Time from the campus of the United States Sports Academy. Have a great week, everyone.